sejahtera. Perkenalkan, saya Tresia Trifik Semiun, salah seorang dosen program studi pendidikan bahasa Inggris, Fakultas Keguruan dan Ilmu Pendidikan Universitas Timor. Pada kesempatan ini, saya akan memaparkan salah satu mata kuliah yang saya ampuh, yaitu mata kuliah Language Assessment. Mata kuliah Language Assessment merupakan mata kuliah wajib yang memiliki bobot sebesar 3 SKS dan diajarkan pada mahasiswa semester 4 program studi pendidikan bahasa Inggris. Mata kuliah ini mencakup sejumlah topik yang diajarkan kepada mahasiswa untuk mampu menyusun dan menganalisis soal-soal bahasa Inggris. CPL yang dibebankan pada mata kuliah ini adalah: pertama, mahasiswa mampu menguasai landasan dan konsep tentang tes bahasa secara mendalam. Kedua, mahasiswa mampu menyusun dan menganalisis soal-soal bahasa Inggris. Ketiga, mahasiswa mampu bekerja sama dalam kelompok untuk menemukan sumber belajar terkait topik yang ditugaskan kepadanya, mendiskusikan materi tersebut, dan mempresentasikan melalui media teknologi. Terakhir, mahasiswa mampu melakukan evaluasi diri terhadap kinerja kelompoknya dalam diskusi dan presentasi materi. Pokok bahasan pada mata kuliah ini mencakup definition of test, function of test, types of language test, principles of language test, developing test item, general guidelines of writing test items including multiple choice, true false, matching, fill-in items, short responses, dan essay. Selain topik tersebut, terdapat topik lain seperti testing grammar, testing vocabulary, testing listening, testing speaking, testing reading, dan testing writing. Sistem pembelajaran pada mata kuliah ini adalah tatap muka di kelas yang meliputi ceramah, diskusi, latihan, dan tugas. Selama perkuliahan berlangsung, terjadi interaksi dosen dengan mahasiswa dalam bentuk tanya jawab dan diskusi. Sistem penilaian akhir yang digunakan mengikuti pedoman yang ditetapkan oleh Universitas Timor, yakni kuis 10%, partisipasi dan kepribadian 15%, tugas 15%, UTS 30%, dan UAS 30%. Selain itu, selama proses pembelajaran, saya juga melakukan observasi terhadap mahasiswa dan juga memberikan kesempatan kepada mahasiswa untuk melakukan penilaian terhadap kelompok kerja. Berikut ini saya akan menampilkan video pembelajaran terkait topik Writing a Multiple Choice Test. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
So before we start our lesson today, I'm going to check your attendance, okay?
Yes.
Diva Marcelina Ilunasa, present Miss Elisa Uspa, present Miss Yudisol. Okay. Well, today we are going to continue our lesson from last week, which is about writing test items. So today we are going to learn about how to write a multiple choice test. Before that, let me remind you with our learning objectives. As you can see on the screen, we have two learning objectives. Let's see, the first one is you are able to understand the guidelines for writing a multiple choice test. Where the guidelines have been discussed last week. So today just a little bit review about it. Okay. And then the second learning objective is you are able to develop or to design a multiple choice test. So for today, we are focusing on the second learning objective. Okay?
Yes.
Alright, so let's review our material. Well, the guidelines that we use are taken from Brown. And then, as you can see on the screen, there are some guidelines. The first one is there must be instruction. Okay, so every test should have instruction because instruction will help the students to do the test. Now let me ask you a question. Do you still remember what is the instruction that can be found in multiple choice test. The instruction.
Read the text and answer the questions below.
Okay, so you can
Choose the correct answer.
So the right answer is choose the right option A, B, C, or D. So that's the example of instruction. Now the next question. Where do you put the instruction? At the bottom or at the top?
At the top.
Okay, at the top of the task. Good. Let's move to the next guideline is the item is correctly matched to the purpose and content of item. Well, if I want to measure students' reading comprehension, then I can use a multiple choice test. Now, my question is, how if I want to measure students' speaking skill, but I use a multiple choice test? Is that valid?
No.
No. Okay, so what is the valid measurement for speaking ability? We cannot use a multiple choice test, right?
Yes.
Now, to measure students' speaking ability, we use what? Conversation. What else? Storytelling, right? Debate, short dialogues, or interview. Okay? Good. Now let's do the third one is, it is only one correct
Correct.
answer. So if an item contain 4 options, lalu ada 4 pilihan, maka one option is the answer B and the rest are distractors. Kalau ada 4 pilihan, maka satu pilihan itu menjadi jawaban, sisanya adalah pengecoh. Jadi pengecoh itu adalah distractors. Okay? Now good. Next, move to the next guideline is the item written is at the level of students' proficiency. Do you understand about this? The fourth guideline? Now, imagine if I want to measure junior high school students' reading comprehension ability, and I put a political text in the test. Do you think that's appropriate?
No.
Why? You have to give the reason.
Because I think the text is not on their level.
Yes, the text is not for their level. That will be too difficult to answer the questions because the vocabularies will be too hard. Okay, right. Now let's move to the fifth. Is the ambiguous terms and statements are avoided. Okay, so ambiguous languages can cause the students to answer incorrectly because they don't know the answer. Okay? So please avoid to use ambiguous terms and statements in your class. Let's move to the sixth guideline is avoids giving clues that could be used in answering other answers. Now let's see these examples. on the whiteboard there are two items. Ada dua soal, okay? Soal pilihan ganda multiple choice test. Item number 6 and item number 7. Item number 6 is used to measure students' ability in using singular and plural, okay? While number 7 is used to measure students' ability in using
To be.
Okay, good. Now let's see. For item number 6, what is the right answer?
A. They are students.
So this is the answer key, and B, D, C are distractors. Okay, distractors atau? Okay, good. How about number 7? Adapter. Okay. Well, if you see it, number 7 can be answered by referring the clues from here. Ya, toh? Orang yang tidak tahu jawaban ini bisa melihat clue yang ada di kalimat di atas. Makanya item number 7 should be revised, harus direvisi. Okay, so you can remove Musa with supaya tidak muncul clue lagi di sini. Supaya he, you can use bukan berarti Musa itu. So don't use male name, but you can use she. Okay. That's what is meant by giving clues to your students. Okay. Itu maksudnya memberi petunjuk atau clue. Okay, good. Number 7, it is only one relevant information, and then the last one, at least one other colleague should look over the items. Why do you need another person to check your text? Itu apa sebenarnya? The last one. At least one other colleague should look over the items. To see?
Just to, what's that? To proofread.
To proofreading, okay, or to see any errors.
Yes.
Errors that the test developers created. So far you have any question?
No.
No, okay. So that's clear, right?
Yes.
Okay, now let's move to the next step is you have to construct a multiple choice test. So the instruction is this exercise is done in group. So each group will construct a multiple choice test. Okay? The question will be based on trip to Malang text. Okay? So there will be 6 questions with 4 options, A, B, C, or D. And don't forget to provide the answer key atau kunci jawaban. Okay, so here is the text. Can you see it clearly? Okay, now can you do it?
Yes.
Now let's do it. Membuat soal dan teks string pemahaman itu.
our group decided to make questions using who was driving the car to Malang, and based on the text, the person who was driving the car was the writer's father.
Okay, so the answer B is B.
B.
The writer's father. What do you think? Another group. Can you find any errors in this item? No, right? That's correct. Okay, good. Now please get what's the now group 2.
Our question is, when did they go to Malang? A, 2 days ago, B, last week, C, last month, and D, yesterday. So based on the text, the answer from this for this question is B, last week.
Okay. What do you think about this question?
Good.
Good, right?
Yes.
There is no error. Okay, thank you. Sit down, we'll sit. Please. And the last group, please come forward.
When did they left the house? A, 6 o'clock. B, 4 o'clock. C, 2 o'clock. D, 11 o'clock. Our answer is A, 6 o'clock.
Okay. Is that correct for the answer?
I think the answer is correct, but for the questions, there's you need some correction. For the verb left, it should be leave.
Yeah.
When did they leave? So we need to use verb 1.
Okay. Which one?
When did they leave the house?
When did they
Leave.
Yeah. Leave the house. Okay, good. Thank you. Now give applause to them. So, time's up. So we should stop right now. Okay. Please collect your assignment. Alright, so thank you for coming today. I'll see you next week, okay?
Alright.